Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Lesson Unit 11, Metal and Glass Packaging Materials. I'm Sabrina Chua here, and I'll be taking you through this lesson. The interface that we'll be looking at is quite similar to Learning Unit 5, where we will be looking at the YouTube videos and then answering some of the questions in the worksheets, which is distributed into separate parts. For the first part on metals, there will be 3 screencast videos and 3 worksheets for you to complete. And for glass packaging, there will be another 3 parts of screencast with 3 separate parts of worksheets. The whole duration will be from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and we will be using Facebook as a platform to record down whatever questions or queries that you have. Instructions will also be shown on the Facebook, so please open up your Facebook together with the YouTube videos so that you are aware of what is happening. In the next slide, we will look at the learning objectives of this problem. This problem is mainly focusing on metal and glass, so we will be touching mainly of the metal and glass packaging materials. The first part of the metals that we'll be looking at will be to recognize the 3 different types of metals that we usually use for the packaging, such as to make tins, to make Milo cans, and so forth. And they are mainly using tin plate steel, tin-free steel, and aluminium. We will look at the differences of tin plate steel and tin-free steel in the next slides. Secondly, we will also look at what would be the process to make the metal container making, and also to recognize what are the disadvantages of using metals, as metals will cause corrosion, so we will also have to recognize the corrosion factors in metal packagings and also the effects of storing it for a while and also when we are processing the food. Besides looking at metal, we will also learn about the differences between metals and glass, and for glass, the main ingredient of glass is actually silica, and the composition of various oxides will be also known. Besides having silica as the main ingredient, we will also have to add in different compositions of various oxides to make up the typical formula for glass containers to make it stronger. We will also look at different types of glass, which you have seen. It could be brown, it could be white, and so forth. It could be transparent. And we will also look at the different advantages and disadvantages of glass, which relates to the physical, mechanical, and optical properties of glass. We will also look at the difference in the critical aspects of glass packaging in a container closure, and also to look at the making process of glass. So there are a few various making process, which is mainly mixing them first, then melting them, forming them, and also treating them for surface treatments. So in the next slide, we will look at the overview of different types of packaging materials. So when you look at the food packaging materials, they are mainly using metal, glass, paper or paperboard, and also plastics. The paper and the plastics packaging materials will be looked in the next few more problems. So in this problem, we will be focusing mainly on metal and glass, and these are some different forms of different materials that will be making into different shapes and sizes. Some examples of metals would be can, foil, and tube. For glass, it could be made into jar and bottles. For paper, it could be made into bags or bottles. And for plastic, it could be also made into different shapes and sizes, such as tray, laminated film, and bottle. So, in order for us to look at the metal and glass packaging materials, there are certain selection of suitable packaging materials that we have to consider. Firstly, we have to consider between the interactions of the packaging and also the foods. In order to understand the compatibility of packaging materials, we definitely have to study the chemical and toxicological effects of interactions between the food and the packaging materials. We also have to understand how long the food products can be on the shelf, which is to look at the shelf life, and their main aspects being studied. So we will actually look at how the coatings of the metal containers will actually react with the food, and thus we have to put coatings on the metals of containers to prevent the interaction of food acids with steel, tin, or aluminium. Also, we have to prevent the migration of pigments, metal containers, and other plastic materials of packaging into the foods. And thus, we have to study how is the effect on the food, and also to look at the migration of oils from food into plastics, and also lastly to find out how the interaction of packaging and food will be under heat, etc. in different processing conditions. Besides looking at the interactions between packaging and foods, we also have to understand the environmental impact of food packaging. We will have to develop type of products to protect the foods as well as to handle and distribute the packaged foods properly. So for the distribution of the food packaging, it will be firstly from the ingredient suppliers. They will sell it to the manufacturers will sell it to the distributors will sell it to the retailers such as NTUC, Cold Storage, and we as consumers will purchase it from the retailers. So in the aspects of environmental impact of food packaging, where we dispose of, we have to look at how the disposal would be. Would it cause a lot of problems? Example, high energy costs for plastics. And would it be actually excessive use of resources in packaging? We also have to look at the purpose of recycling and also whether the packaging has been over-packaged, which adds unnecessary cost to the product cost, and thus it might be used to deceive consumers. Besides looking at environmental impact of food packaging and interactions between packaging and foods, we also have to look at the packaging cost. So what does packaging cost means? It means that how much the packaging cost would actually be part of the price that we actually pay for an item. So the packaging must not be too costly. It should actually be value for money. And this packaging cost includes the packaging of the machinery, the packaging of the shipping containers, and labor requirements, and also the cost of labeling. So the use of minimal materials with low packaging to product ratio should be always desirable. An example would be if we have a cost of a 500 ml glass bottle with cap and label, which is 20 cents. So if you look at different items, for example, mineral water, milk, and liquor, you will find that all of them, if it's the same packaging material, which is 20 cents, however, the product value of mineral water is the least compared to liquor. For mineral water, it is only 2 cents, while milk it is 30 cents, and liquor it is $10. So if you calculate the packaging to product ratio, which is to take the packaging cost, divide by the product value, so 20 cents divided by 2 cents, it will be 10 times for mineral water, and for milk it will be 20 cents divided by 30 cents, it will be 0.7, and for liquor it will be 20 cents divided by $10, and it will be 0.02. So you will find that liquor actually has the lowest packaging to product ratio and is most desirable if we look at the packaging cost. So for now, we end our part 1, and please do the worksheet of part 1. Thank you.